Hello and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your host for the day, Rahul Saigaonkar, and today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. We are going to raise a question here. You can see the article from Economist. Is Facebook a monopolist company? The answer to this question has been regarded as not very simple. Recently, a district judge in the United States has given that there is no simple answer to this particular question. So let me take you through the agenda of this particular discussion first. I hope you remember that recently we discussed 6 antitrust laws that have been pending in United States Congress. We'll connect this discussion to that and we'll try to answer this question, that is Facebook a monopolistic company? What is the observation of United States judiciary here? So let's begin the discussion and let's first talk about the background. I will take you through the previous discussion. I hope you have seen this. If you have not seen, I'll quickly take you through the important ideas from this particular video. 6 antitrust bills that were introduced in United States Congress. What were these 6 antitrust bills? Antitrust means, in United States lingo, antitrust refers to certain laws which aim to make the business practices more competitive, right? So 6 antitrust laws. The first one, the Platform Competition and Opportunity Act, which aims to prevent the big tech companies from nipping the competition in the bud, right? We have seen this, how Facebook took over Instagram and WhatsApp to end the competition. Apart from that, the Ending Platform Monopolies Act, where the tech companies will now be prohibited to become members or players on their own platform. Apart from that, Augmenting Compatibility and Competition by Enabling Services Switching Act. Under this act, if I am a big tech company or if I'm a customer of big tech company, if I want to shift from one service to another service, that should be allowed according to this particular bill. Merger filing fee is going to be increased under this Modernization Act. Apart from that, the American Innovation and Choice Online Act, which would prevent the companies from giving preference to their own products. Now, we have seen this happening with Apple on the Apple Store, on the App Store. Apart from that, the State Antitrust Enforcement Venue Act. This is going to prohibit now for the tech companies to select the places of their preference for adjudication of the matters, right? So these 6 antitrust laws are pending now in the House of Representatives in the US Congress. We discussed that. Now, apart from this, we also raised a very important question. What was the question? Although the bills have been introduced, will they ever become a law? Now, here, I told you that right now, with respect to regulation of these big tech companies, both the Democrats and the Republicans, they are on the same page. So perhaps this bill might get passed, or the package of bills, they might get passed. But again, even if they're passed, they have to pass the test of the judiciary also, isn't it? That's the big question. These big companies, we mentioned them as GAFA: Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. So today we are going to talk about the case study of Facebook and we are going to see what are the potential challenges. The answer to this particular question, I can say that it's a kind of a trailer to what is going to come ahead. What has happened recently with Facebook? See, the test of judiciary has failed. Recently, a district judge from United States, he has dismissed 2 suits, one filed by FTC, one filed by the state attorney generals against the tech giant Facebook. So what has the judge said? The judge said that the FTC, that is the Federal Trade Commission, it has not provided ample evidence to prove that Facebook is monopolist. So let's try to get the details of these 2 cases. As I mentioned, recently a Washington federal judge, he dismissed 2 antitrust lawsuits against Facebook. Let's talk about these 2 lawsuits at length to understand what are the potential problems. The first lawsuit was filed by the FTC, that is the Federal Trade Commission. Now here, the Federal Trade Commission, it alleged that Facebook has been indulging in monopolistic behavior. They handle majority of the market. Apart from that, they are running anti-competitive practices. For instance, they are not allowing the rival players to use their platform. Now, with respect to this, United States District Judge James E. Boasberg, he dismissed the Federal Trade Commission suit and he rapped the FTC, suggesting that there are no enough facts here for your complaint against Facebook. Just because the government or the government agency is telling that Facebook is monopolistic, how can I accept this particular argument? What the judge has done, he has given 30 days for the FTC to file an amended complaint with appropriate details. Now, if we look at this particular argument, is Facebook really monopolistic? Why the judge argued this particular thing? If we look at the market share, right, the Facebook and its advertising market share in the years from 2015 to 2020. See, Facebook is obviously a giant. It has monopoly over the US social media. Obviously, it also has some sort of dominance over the global social media, but it does not have the dominance over US digital market, US digital advertising market. It generally controls about 20 to 25% of the advertisement market. The other tech companies are obviously there in competition. So that is why perhaps the judge believes that there was not ample evidence to prove that Facebook is monopolistic. So as of now, according to the judiciary, Facebook is not monopolistic. The second argument that the FTC gave was Facebook was stifling competition by blocking the rivals from its platform. The FTC argued that Facebook was not giving appropriate importance or appropriate opportunity for the other platforms to use their platform. For instance, they bought Instagram, they bought WhatsApp very quickly. They do not give access to other players, for instance, like Google Plus or any other social media giant. Now, on this also, the judge observed that there is no such requirement. If you look at the antitrust laws that are at present in United States, there is a Sherman Act, there is Clayton Act, all of which they do suggest that monopolists have no duty to deal with the other parties. If they have a monopoly, there is no compulsory clause that they have to deal with their competitors. There's no such clause. And it is one of the most contentious issues in the antitrust laws as of now. In these antitrust laws, there is right now no duty for the monopolist to deal with their competitors. Now, what the experts suggest is that this particular argument was very true when you talk about the analog competition. That means the basic brick and mortar competition, where you do not need a monopoly to deal with their competitors. But when you talk about this digital world, in this digital world, there should be some sort of a compulsion for the monopolist to deal with the other players. That is what is the argument of experts, and that is why these 6 antitrust laws have also been brought. But again, the trailer here is that the case has been dismissed. Within 30 days, let's see if the FTC files a complaint again or not. But a very interesting second lawsuit was also dismissed. This second lawsuit was brought by 46 state attorney generals against Facebook. And these 46 state attorney generals, they argued that Facebook is resorting to anti-competitive practices by nipping the competition in the bud itself. That happened with acquisition of Instagram, acquisition of WhatsApp. Now here, the judge observed why there is such a delay in filing the cases. Now the cases were filed a couple of years back, but if you look at the development here, Facebook bought Instagram way back in 2012. So it was the foresight of Facebook that they understood Instagram may become a potential rival. Very quickly, they overtook it, they acquired it. And when they acquired Instagram, it went through the requisite approvals of FTC itself. That means all the anti-competitive rules, regulations were followed, and this acquisition was allowed by the government officials. Later on, when they took WhatsApp, a similar kind of thing also happened. So now the judge asked why there is such a delay by these 46 state attorneys to file a case against Facebook now. Why after 6 years you are coming? Although the judge also suggested that now the FTC, if the Federal Trade Commission wants, it can file a case, a similar case if it chooses, and we are going to deal with it. So that's the basic understanding right now. According to the judiciary, Facebook is not monopolistic. So what is going to come next? I told you about the 6 bills pending in the US Congress. First, it has to pass through the House of Representatives, then the Senate, then the presidential assent. And we all know that these tech companies, they have huge power, huge sway. They have great lobbying power also. So they will do their best to stop these bills from becoming acts. But as of now, what can we say? The round 1 of this tech clash, that means the clash between technology giants versus the government, it goes to Facebook or the tech companies. Let me tell you why. Because as soon as these 2 suits were dismissed, on 28 June, the share price of Facebook, it rose by almost 5%. So it was a huge increase. You can see the jump here. It reached $355 US. And ironically, on this particular day, Facebook also became $1 trillion company, which was a big irony for the governments which are trying to regulate Facebook. But on the same day when the cases were dismissed, they reached the net worth of $1 trillion. So the round 1 of this boxing match, or the tech clash between governments and the tech companies, it goes to the tech companies. Let's wait for the round 2 and what is going to be the government's move. Will the antitrust bills, they become law or not. Let's wait and watch for that. Let's wait for the US judiciary to rule on them also. We will continuously cover that on StudyIQ. That is it right now from my side. If you have liked this video, you can follow me on the ID @RahulSai222. My Facebook, Instagram and Telegram channel ID is same. If you have any queries, any doubts regarding your preparation, you can directly message me on Instagram. And if you're preparing for UPSC Civil Services or other competitive exams, just go to the description of this video. You will find all the details, all the programs that we run on StudyIQ. With that, let me conclude the discussion. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.